Hello and namaste. So today I just want to talk a couple minutes on some different things that we can eat and drink to keep the body a little bit cooler, and as we move into, in many areas, into warmer climates, warmer temperatures, it behooves us actually to keep the body cooler. Sometimes as it gets warmer we may see things like rashes starting to develop, or in the digestion we may have diarrhea, for example. So some of these foods and drinks will help keep the body cooler. The first thing we want to know is we do want to avoid heavy meals. The main reason for this is as we eat, anything that we eat, naturally our body temperature is raised because we're creating more energy to digest the food. So the more food that we have and the heavier food we have in our system, the more energy is going to be required to digest the meal. And that's why sometimes if you're at a weekend party and maybe you've eaten too much, during the summer months you start to feel really, really sleepy afterwards. Even when it's not summertime, for example, or when it's not warm, generally eating a large meal with very heavy foods is going to have a reaction in the body of sluggishness or lethargy or heaviness or tiredness. So some different foods that we can take advantage of in the summertime as we move through this, and I'm just going to name a few, but some grains that we can take advantage of, for example, are basmati rice. So basmati is excellent. It's extremely light and it's a very cooling food. It's also a sweet food. So if you notice the real taste of rice without having any salt or any spices or anything on it at all, you'll actually notice that it has a sweet taste in the mouth, much like wheat does. And wheat is also a very cooling food. It is very good for certain body types in the summer months as well. We can also look at other grains such as amaranth or quinoa, for example. Some other foods that we could take advantage of are a lot of vegetables. So we do want to eat a lot of fresh vegetables in the warmer temperatures, things like cucumbers or zucchinis, broccoli, asparagus, pretty much any kind of sweet and bitter vegetables are going to have a cooling effect on the body. So other foods that we can add are fruits, of course. Fruits in general are fresh to the system. They're easy to digest. They pass through the stomach into the small intestines. In about 30 to 50 minutes, it will evacuate your stomach and move into the intestines. So it will pass through your system rather quickly. Most sweet foods are going to be cooling to the system, and many foods such as dates, for example, are very nourishing to the system as well, and more of a rejuvenative. So they build the system up, especially if you have a lot of work that you're doing outside and you feel really depleted. You can eat some of these sweet foods to cool the body, but also to rebuild the cellular structure as well in the body. So in general, we do want to also add more lighter proteins to the diet. Animal proteins do have a tendency to be heavy and they do take a long time to digest. So if you think about 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a really hot summer day and you're outside doing the barbecue and you're barbecuing meat, for example, think of how that meat is coming into your body. You have an already dead piece of food, and it's coming into your body and it's sitting in your body under the heat. So it's already cooking in an already hot body under the already hot sun. So these foods are going to have a tendency to rot in your body. So we do want to know that if we have these kind of chemical reactions happening in our body, these are not going to help us feel better. Okay, so even it is very tempting to have the weekend barbecue or whatever, but we do want to make sure that if we do want to give our body a chance, then it would benefit us to add some lighter, easy to digest proteins into the system, so we don't have that lethargic effect afterwards, and so we don't have that food that's literally rotting in our system. Some lentils we could definitely add, which would be for most anyone, would be red lentils, also yellow or brown lentils. And we can also add some lighter beans like mung beans or peas for a good protein source. And then if we go to seeds or nuts, for example, nuts are warming to the body. So nuts are usually better to eat as it starts to get towards the cool months. Again, depending on your constitution. However, overall, it is better to stick with some lighter proteins and fats, such as flax seeds or sunflower seeds. So that was just some of the foods that I wanted to discuss. And then I will go ahead and post another video on some cooling drinks that we could also take during the summer to help us stay cool and hopefully eliminate some of the summer rashes or the summer diarrhea that sometimes accompanies some of the really hot days. So thank you, and let me know if you have any questions or comments, and namaste.